Queenstown. The marketing leaves you in no doubt that it's the adventure capital of the universe. And we've blown our share of holiday cash over the years on extreme and extreme-ish activities. But on our most recent trip, I discovered that the best thing to do in Queenstown is free. The journey to this kind of hidden gem started for me the day before with a walk up Queenstown Hill. This is a nice enough hike, but it stirred an appetite for something bigger. And there it is. In the background behind that cheesy grin is a ridgeline that leads from the Queenstown Gondola up to the summit of Ben Lomond. If you're virtuous or cheap, you'll set off on the Tiki Trail at the back of Queenstown and walk the whole way for free. But that trail happens to start right near the gondola, and if you can't resist its lure, then a return trip will cost you your bragging rights plus 46 New Zealand dollars. There's really not that much to navigate. You walk the first ridge up to the saddle, and then turn left and head up to the summit. If you're a fan of this yellow squiggly line, then give me a thumbs up. It took 2 weeks to learn how to animate. When you come out of these trees, the Tiki Trail joins up, and you can see Ben Lomond ahead of you. The track up the first ridge is a steady climb on a well-maintained trail with stairs in a few sections. A shower starts up, and I'm hoping it'll clear out, otherwise my Instagram photos at the top will be toast. After I've climbed about 300 metres, I get to the first patches of spring snow. As the trail switches to the other side of the ridge, I walk through a few snowdrifts, and I start to see these orange trail markers on poles, so I guess the snow can get pretty deep. When you get near the saddle, you get a good view of the ridge you'll walk up to get to the summit. The bench at the saddle looks good for a rest, but I've arrived during bench rush hour. But bench or no bench, the view is bonkers. And if you don't have the time or the legs to get to the summit, just come up here. If the visibility is good, I guarantee you won't be disappointed. After the saddle, the trail gets a bit steeper. It's not rock climbing, but it's enough to slow you down. Luckily for me, the visibility is really starting to come good. It's taken me about 2 hours since the gondola, and I've come up 900 metres or so. If you want to go quicker than that, my tip is to avoid setting up cameras to film yourself being intrepid. If you want to feel extra smug when you reach a deep snowdrift like this one, then wrap your feet in expensive Gore-Tex-lined hiking shoes like these. But on the day I went, running shoes would have done the job. You walk under the summit and then around the other side of the mountain before you U-turn and come back up to the top. I made this shot way more dramatic than it needed to be. The most dangerous thing at the top is probably these backpackers. While they enthusiastically validate one another's life choices, I find a spot to have some lunch. It's incredibly still and sunny, but the backpackers notice grey clouds coming in from the west. And this is when Ben Lomond becomes the best thing I've ever done in Queenstown. For 15 minutes I get the summit to myself with visibility to forever. At about the 3-hour mark, I head back down the way I came up. The wind is picking up and I'm not keen to find out how much rain is in those clouds. So I jog back down to the saddle in about 30 minutes. and I take the risk of getting wet so I can tick that bench off my bucket list. The time suggested on these trail signs were about right on the way up, but on the way down it took me about half of what they reckoned. As I got near the end, the rain had stayed away and I felt I had time to try a little vlogging.
Coming up to the end of the Ben Lomond, heading back into the pine forest. There's the mountain in the background. It was a great walk.
Having butchered the pronunciation of the hill I just walked up, all that was left to do was to compare my time to the official time and pat myself on the back. For the last part of the Ben Lomond experience, make sure you get a window seat on the right hand side of the plane on the way home so you can wave goodbye. If you enjoyed this and you want to see how we did other trails, please subscribe. YouTube wants me to rack up 1,000 subscribers before they'll pay me for the ads you have to watch. And you might also like to see how we did the 6-day Alps to Ocean cycling tour.